Hello and welcome to this week's Real Estate Report on the Finance News Network. I'm Melissa Beaumont-Lee. This week we continue our series looking at suburbs with the most affordable median prices in 2010, with a focus on two suburbs in Western Australia. We speak with Archicent Estate Manager Ian Agnew about what to look out for when buying off the plan. And in our tax tip we look at registering for GST when dealing in property. But first, let's catch up on the latest property news with Lelda Smits.
The lead up to Easter wasn't quite as sweet as some property investors were hoping for, with one of the biggest weeks of the year for residential auctions delivering a lacklustre result in Australia's two largest cities. The Real Estate Institute of Victoria and Australian Property Monitors reported that Melbourne had a clearance rate of 60% on the weekend before Easter. In Sydney, the clearance rate was slightly lower at 55%. AMP's senior economist Andrew Wilson says with Easter being the first major selling period of the year, there are now clear signs we're still in a buyer's market. The reluctance of buyers was also confirmed with the latest residential land report from the Housing Industry Association and RP Data. That revealed land sales fell to their lowest level in years on the back of higher prices. RP Data says a lower number of sales would often suggest demand is drying up, but with land prices continuing to rise, the fall in sales is supply related.
This week we continue our series looking at suburbs with the most affordable median prices in 2010, with a focus on two suburbs in Western Australia. First, let's look at Camillo, a suburb located 32 kilometres southeast of Perth's central business district. Camillo was a part of Kelmscott until the late 1970s. The suburb was known as Westfield until mid-2008. There are many three-bedroom houses, often with an additional study or smaller fourth bedroom, made of brick or brick veneer. The houses are generally on 600 to 700 square metre blocks. Three-bedroom duplexes are also characteristic of the suburb. Schools in the catchment area include Kelmscott Senior High School, John Wollaston Anglican Community School and Westfield Primary. Kelmscott and Stargate shopping centres are also nearby. The area is serviced by Kelmscott and Chalice train stations. Turning to the figures, houses in Camillo recorded the capital's most affordable median price in 2010 of $289,500. 74 properties were sold in the year. Our next suburb is Armadale. It's located 5 kilometres south of Camillo and 37 kilometres southeast of Perth CBD. With a population of 12,019 in the last census, Armadale is an urban centre and transport hub for surrounding districts. Armadale Shopping City is located near the Armadale train station, the terminus of the Armadale railway line. The suburb and surrounding catchment area is home to 2 state high schools, 4 state primary schools and 3 independent schools, a trades college and a campus of Polytechnic West. The suburb is undergoing redevelopment with a number of new villas for sale under the National Rental Affordability Scheme, which offers annual tax-free incentives to property investors. There's also a few older properties on the market, many listed for their development potential. Turning to the figures. Houses in Armadale recorded the capital's second most affordable median price in 2010 of $290,000. 197 properties were sold in the year. Let's now turn to our interview. This week we speak with Archicent Estate Manager Ian Agnew about what to look out for when buying off the plan.
The number one factor I think investors need to look out for is that they are purchasing what is as advertised, just like the overseas model shown type vehicle commercials that you see late at night, the prestige car with the wood grain finish and the leather seats. You need to ensure that what you do ultimately end up, just like what's in the showroom, is actually that particular home or apartment that you did see. And that especially is relevant when you're buying off the plan, because a lot of properties have exclusions around fittings and finishes, and they really can have a massive impact on the actual resale value of that property when it comes time to do so. The other big factor is one of quality, and you need to ensure that you have the home inspected to see that it was finished in the manner as which you saw the display home or apartment as it might have been, because there can be a lot of variance in the way in which it's finished, because it comes down to those teams of builders and developers that were used to actually build the property that you are purchasing. So those really are the two key factors, and if you get those right, along with all the other factors, close to amenities and everything else, then you should do well.
And now to the tax tip of the week from Depreciator, the tax depreciation schedule specialists. This week we take a look at registering for GST when dealing in property. For example, if you buy a property as an investment and make a profit selling it, you may be liable to pay GST. It's a common mistake to not register, and the threshold is $75,000. This is a common trap many property investors fall into. For full details, visit the ATO website and see the common GST errors and property document. As always, do remember to consult with a tax accountant or tax professional before making any tax-related decisions. And that's the Real Estate Report for Monday the 25th of April. Thanks for joining us. I'm Melissa Beaumont-Lee for the Finance News Network.